All right. Welcome back to another episode of Breath of Fresh Air podcast.
Yeah, with Nakhaz Gay, Roberts, and we have our guest.
Our boy is back.
Yes, yes, sir. We have not had a guest in a very long time.
For exceptionally long. I think the last guest
Crazy.
we had was Dominic.
The last guest we
That's
I
crazy.
bet that.
That's
Oh, you
crazy.
know what? That's true. I think the last time we did it
It was by his
was
house.
it was by his house. Yeah, that's when we did the Ark of the Covenant being restored, and David was dancing. Um,
That was an exceptionally long time ago, gentlemen.
yeah.
Man, and you would think, right? It's crazy. Because we have the power of Zoom where we're not physically limited to any location, right?
Something
I was
big.
thinking I was thinking about this today, right? I was like, hold on. Why haven't we had a guest in a while? I'm like, we we have Zoom
We have technology.
that, that we don't physically all have to be in the same place anymore.
Oh
I remember
man.
remember when we did the Genesis closing wrapping up Genesis episode, bro? We had like that big round table. Doing that now would just stress me out. I ain't
Oh,
even gonna lie.
Yeah.
We was ambitious then,
Yeah, very much so.
before COVID.
Yeah, BC.
see, because y'all wasn't far removed from the origins of the podcast at that point in time when
Boy,
everybody used to be. Ooh, I ain't sure how we used to get out. I ain't sure how we used to get out y'all else on Friday nights.
I mean, it was fun now. Don't get me
it was
wrong.
it was a good
Oh
fellowship.
yeah, it
It
was
was fun.
it was it was good, but
Oh
everybody
yeah.
had an opinion, bro.
Oh yeah.
Boy, and some people like to beat a dead horse, boy. So
Okay,
them
Some horse
okay,
horses,
don't die to some people,
boy,
yeah.
them horses, boy,
okay,
they were
They shoot
stubborn, boy,
okay.
horse like it got 9 lives sometimes.
boy.
I wonder who them people is, boy. That's
You don't know
crazy.
Oh,
them. You
That's
don't know
crazy.
them.
oh
I
man.
don't. That's crazy, bro. Wow.
But Dominic, you ain't been here in a while, so like, what's your update, man? How things going with you? How life been? How's God been blessing you, or what's the journey God currently has you on in life?
Ooh, boy, that's the question you start me off with.
Yeah,
Well,
man, let's go,
geez.
let's go.
Well, first of all, hello, hello, hello.
Yeah,
A triple
okay.
hello.
That's a
Um,
staple.
My grandma, think about my
I
grandma actually
gotta.
called Dominic on a nudge. She'd be like, "Yeah, he came on the podcast and didn't say his triple hello,
You
Mister
change
Hello."
it.
The married life changed him.
Well,
Dog.
so now I guess now I got people who recognize me, so I got to get them what they want. So hello, hello, hello again.
Yeah.
But anyway, my word, it has been a a definite journey since the last time I've been on the podcast. You know what I mean? A lot of things has happened in the past. What's it been? At least a year,
Hmm.
a
No,
year
at
and a
least.
half, maybe more. Man, look, but I can definitely say that there have been many downs, many more ups, and I can only say thank God that I'm here today. You know what I
Amen.
mean? Uh, I know at work has been a lot. Uh, I used to I work at this firm, and we have two offices. I used to be in the office that was in Orlando, and I get moved down to the office in Kissimmee because they do slightly different things, and I was at the Kissimmee office was a little bit more in line with my experience, and so you know, I there was a little opening there, so I got shuffled around, and I at first I was like, I think I say thank God, I think this was probably made for me, you know what I mean? I
Hmm.
felt like there was a role, I was filling it well, and then you know all of a sudden, the reason why it opened up is because we had a couple of people who left, and they needed a little bit of help, so I came down, I helped, and then you had a little bit more people who left, and then a little bit more people who left, and even this week I find out we have another person who left. So it's been very crazy at work recently.
Lord.
Mercy.
So a lot of prayers for that would be greatly appreciated.
I
But
got you, bro.
you know, and then on top of that, school started, a couple of weeks ago, and I tell you all this before. I taken some business classes, and I say I don't know how guys do this because these accounts.
Gotta go ask cars for help, man.
I say, what? Why you have to why I have to record a journal entry twice? This don't make no
You
sense.
gotta
The way
capture both
these,
sides, bro.
I
You
say,
gotta capture
I
both
say,
sides.
if I do it here, why I have to do it here again? Like that, y'all don't make no sense to me. But
You know what's
yeah,
funny?
I
Keep
say.
going.
No, I just say it, man. Like a lot of just between work, between school, a lot of stuff been happening. But I God has blessed me with a wonderful wife who has been holding me down. Thank God
Amen.
for.
Man,
So
Amen.
like I say, a lot has happened, but through God we are here today.
amen, amen.
Amen. And Kazi, you need to give the people an update on your leg.
Oh
Everyone,
yes.
it's
Oh,
a lot has happened since we last recorded, ladies and gentlemen.
for real. Let me see. It should be, I guess, 3 Fridays ago. I went under the knife. I got my ACL repaired, which is a ligament. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's hard for me to explain because I tried to explain it off mic. I don't know if I did a good job, but anyway, right. So I tore some things in my right knee. I tore a few things, and I'll be honest with you. That first week, getting back, it was not comfortable. It was hard for me to sleep. They want you to keep your surgery elevated above your heart, but the only way I could do that is to put a lot of pressure on my knee. And so that was my reality for the first like 7-8 days. And I'll be honest with you, that was very hard. It was very hard for me to sleep, even on meds. It was hard for me to sleep. I could not sleep. But by the grace of God, I am doing much better. I remember when I used to hop around on my crutches. Now I could bear 50% of my weight on my recovering leg. And by the time y'all hear this next week, I would be transitioning into walking without crutches by the grace of God. So
Amen.
just keep me in the
Mm.
prayers. Physical therapy is annoying. I'll be honest with you. Like the things they ask me to do, it's not unheard of. It's not hard to do. But when your muscles are asleep and they are not fully functioning, it is extremely hard to do. Like I'll give you all an example. One of my hardest exercise at the moment is two of my hardest exercises. One is bending my knee. They give me like this strap and I just pull it just to bend my knee. That is extremely difficult for me. The furthest I've gotten was 80 degrees bent. That's a personal record for me now. They want me, I should be at 90 right now, so I'm a little behind. But that's very hard for me. Another thing is a straight leg raise. So imagine
Mm,
yourself laying on the bed and they tell you to elevate your leg about 45 degrees up. You know,
mhm.
that is hard for me to do. And so I do it, but after doing it, my knee is burning. And I have to really focus. I have to focus just to make sure my knee doesn't bend while doing it. Like I have to put a lot of emphasis on my knee. And then I won. And I obviously have multiple reps I need to do with that. And so it's very annoying. And they want me to do it as many times as possible. And so I got to make time on my day just to do that. But by the grace of God, just like you, Dom, my wife has been my caregiver, my caretaker. I want to send a shout out to my family and friends, those who have wished me well. You know what I'm saying? Those have been praying for me. I had a friend Yana's friend, who their family has dealt with multiple ACL injuries. So they understand the whole shebang,
Mhm.
right? And so they took it upon themselves to have to give us to buy us food, to buy us catering from Chipotle. So all last week
Amen.
the food was taken care of. Like we didn't have to actually cook anything. You know what I'm saying? It was just a matter of warming up
That's
because
amazing.
Yana's working. My wife, she working full time. You understand? She got to take me to physical therapy multiple times a day. She got to help me up. You see what I'm saying? I got everything. I need assistance with everything at the moment. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, That's a lot. Like I drink a lot of water, and so like, can you get me some water? You know what I mean? To me, it's a little annoying to have to rely on somebody so much. But the Lord has definitely blessed me with somebody that helps me through sickness and in health. You know what I'm saying? Like
Amen.
that's one of the vows, and so I'm happy for that, and I can't wait to repay the favor one day. Hopefully, she don't have to get injured, but if it come to that, I right there.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amen. All right. So I had a weekly thought, but I'm like, maybe we should just get to the chapter. What y'all think?
Yeah.
I like that answer. All right. You want to give the people a recap on how we got here?
Yeah, for sure. So at the moment, we are in Nehemiah 6. Now, in Nehemiah 5, we spoke about some sort of like an economic crisis that the Jews had been placed in because of their efforts to rebuild the wall. So, for those who don't remember, or for those who are new here, Nehemiah, this is after the time of Jewish exile out of Babylon, and during the Persian Empire, the kings allowed them to go back rebuild their city. Now they're in the process of rebuilding their wall. The problem is everybody is all hands on deck building the wall. We have people, priests, we have women and children. We have everybody working to rebuild this wall. But if we're all working to rebuild the wall, how are we sustaining? How are we, farming? How are we providing for ourselves? So a lot of people were starving. They needed money. And they had nobles in the city, nobles among the Jews, who took it upon themselves to exploit that. So they gave out loans. I assume it was high interest, but even if it wasn't, the fact of the matter is the people defaulted on their loans. And as a result, they had to be sold into slavery to their Jews, or their children had to be slaves, or they had to give in their land, their vineyard, all of that. Jeremiah calls a meeting with all the nobles and say, yo, what y'all doing is wrong. Now, me and my people, we about to come in, we about to work, and we about to save to make sure everybody is fed. Now, what I need you all to do is to repay everybody what y'all took from them, and also vow not to take advantage of your brothers. Because under the Torah, it was illegal to exact usury on a Jew. You could do it on somebody that was a foreigner, but you could not do that on your brothers. You are not to exploit your brothers in that way. You know what I'm saying? And so now that is over, now that they able to eat, they are fed, now the work of the wall is being resumed. So that's what leads us to Nehemiah chapter 6 today.
All right. So Nehemiah 6. Now it happened that Sanballat, Tobiah, Geshem the Arab, and the rest of our enemies heard that I had rebuilt the wall, and that there were no breaks left in it, though at the time I had not hung the doors and the gates. I just was like a personal memoir. He's like, yeah, okay, the wall's done, but technically, just so no one calls me on lying. Let me give you all the true context. Yeah, okay, the gates was nice, but come on, you really gonna hold that against me?
Exactly. And you can tell this was written after the fact. Like, this wasn't written as it was happening, This wasn't like a journal, This is him recalling.
Exactly.
What'd you say, Don?
No, I was saying a memoir.
Yeah, exactly.
That Sanballat and Geshem sent to me, saying, come, let us meet together among the villages in the plain of Ono. But
no.
But the song just came in my head the first time I was rereading this today. I was like, oh no. Anyway, but they thought to do me harm. So a couple things we see like Kazi was reiterating, right? Last week, these people were bickering against, like Nehemiah said, let's just get back to work. And the beginning of this chapter, he's saying, guess what, guys? The wall essentially done. Like what we set out to do, we accomplished. Right? But there's still some work left to be done, but for the most part, we pretty much near the finish line. And now we see in Sanballat, and for those to remember, if you go back in verse chapter 2 and 4, probably, I think it's 2 and 4, when we see like Sanballat and his friends, his posse, they were haters. I mean, me and Kazi call them straight out, like they were legit haters. Yep. Like Nehemiah just rolled up in town and they was like, bro, what you come here to do, bro? Oh, y'all come to build a wall? Bro, what y'all talking about wall? Like, you build wall, why? Like, and this wall y'all gonna build like on fail, so why y'all even trying?
Yep.
So like you see, they was trying to sow doubts in the hearts of the Israelites from day one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say this, bro. I mean, they even went to the extent of threatening to kill them. It's like, bro, if y'all completed this war, we can kill y'all, bro. Why y'all building? We're gonna sneak up on y'all and kill y'all, like straight up. You know.
To the
Now my
fact,
question,
go for it. Go for it, Dominic.
no, my question to y'all is what did they get out of this? Like what was their purpose in going through all this? You know what I mean?
I believe that when who was it? Who came first? Zerubbabel?
Yeah.
When
Hmm.
Zerubbabel and the first set of Jews returned to the city and they were rebuilding the city from scratch, there were people in the surrounding areas that asked to assist. And they were told that they have no they basically you don't have nothing to do with this. You see what I'm saying? And from there, we could see them saying people being very hostile every step of the way. So now the city is rebuilt, right? And they still enemies toward the Jews, right? Let me give you a little more extent of the anger that they had for the Jews. While Zerubbabel and those were trying to build the city,
Mhm.
a new king of Persia came into power. And those same enemies, they wrote a letter to that king saying, yo, these people, look at the history books. I know you knew. Look at the history. They rebel. They do all type of thing, bro. Stop them from building the city. They can rebel again. And that king obliged. So they had to stop. And a new king came in. They got to work. And that's when Ezra came, etc. So this ping pong match has been going on for a good amount of years now, right? But the city is already built. Now, the last thing for y'all to start, it's like backgammon, right? I ain't gonna get into that long analogy, but anyway, it's their last opportunity to strike them. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? It's their last opportunity to strike. If I let this pass, then they have free reign to do whatever they want to do. You see what I'm saying? So I need to take advantage of that. And so I think that had a lot to do with their motive behind trying to stop them by any means. Yeah.
I guess my answer to that would be people was legitimately scared of the power of the God of the Israelites. Them rebuilding and getting strength again, as we would say, is almost like like you hear the stories of what this nation used to be. Now they might not be that now, right? But like their existence, them coming back to the land, them rebuilding, it's gonna it directly threatens us if we come against them. The power that we once had is now going to be diminished. And we as humans, we love power. We love being in control. We love exerting dominion over other things. Take that as you would, right? But now you have these ancient people, especially them ancient people. Goodness gracious, they was power hungry mongrels. But I don't know why I say that, but they, it, they, it was no satiation for them. So now you have these people who you once had dominion over, who you could once like, you want to rob them, they was easy pickings. Now these people who was once easy targets, they getting their strength again. And now what does this mean for you, who probably was a ruler or had some other part of some other like authority in a different town nearby? You can no longer have the power that you once have, and so that directly threatened them.
I got one more opinion. And I say opinion because I don't have no research to back this up, right? So we know that the children of the nation, the Northern Kingdom had been captured, but they never got to be able to go back to their land and rebuild and all that. They end up intermingling. And so that's how we have the Samaritans. Now, early in the book of Ezra, they mentioned that among the haters were Samaritans. And I believe this is the origin of their long-standing disdain for each other, this same animosity towards each other, you know. And so you all know your history. If you could think, and I believe that's why they wanted to help build a city, because this was their last opportunity to regain some type of structure or to have something of their own, but they were denied that. And so you get to see your little bro or your ex, right, on and thriving. You salty about that. You know what I mean? So, and I think that's just even more ammunition for them to just dislike them, because why we can't get that? Some people can't even look past what their life like. They like, if someone have something, no, I believe I should have that.
Mm.
And so
I
they're
could
trying to
read an
stop it by any
excerpt.
means.
I can read an excerpt later on in the podcast to like kind of back up what you just say from Prophets and Kings. If I read it now, you can take away some of the thunder, the rest of the chapter, but I can read something later. Just remind me of that if I forget. But yeah, man.
Just real quick, but I
also
I just wanted to say I also think just kind of to reiterate what you were saying, Earl, but I think it's a little bit of what you were saying, but there's a little bit, I think there's even another layer to it. And I think as we read, especially down towards the end, we could see, in my opinion, what, where, like that next layer that kind of drives the anger, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Exactly. So just like what we was talking about just now, we see Sanballat and his posse said to Nehemiah, come meet with us among the villages of the plain of Ono. So they essentially tell them, come meet with us, not in the city. We ain't coming to your city. You ain't even coming to our city. We going someplace else. We going to a third party.
Anybody have any idea how far this plain of Ono is from, like, what the geospatial references for these people and where they are in relation to each other?
I just want to say this: what this smart, they can beat him if they get him in that place, bro. That's all I try to say. And Nehemiah know it. I don't know if he knew it at the time, but you could see it though, because he said, "But no, they was trying to harm me." You see what I'm saying? Like they sought to do me harm.
Bro, and that's the next thing we could talk about probably later, bro. Just like discernment, bro. Discernment.
I can tell you a time when I had discernment. I might have been 6 years old. I had one thought. We was in church. I got my helicopter.
You know where that's going.
You know where that's going, right? My old lady said, "Come, let's go outside." I say, "No." I shout to the top of my lungs. I say, "No, if you take me outside, you can beat me."
Did that save you?
The whole church started laughing. I don't think I got beaten though. My mommy take me outside. She threw away my helicopter though, because I didn't know how to behave. You can't have it all. You know what I mean?
I was getting beaten, buddy.
I really don't.
You would have saved your helicopter.
Wait, no, but I just say, but many. Let me tell you how I was, bro. Right? When I was small, church for me was Sabbath school. So
I can see the logic in that though. I really can. I really can. But go on.
So I didn't had my church.
Yeah, you didn't get yours.
I didn't sing my songs and had gone over my Bible lesson. You know, that might get in my little crocker or something or whatever. But I was good. Kindergarten out. Okay, now I gotta go set up in boring church, bro. Now I bored out my mind, bro. I was a talker.
Yeah, same here.
So I just talk, having a good time. What me saying, but you gotta be quiet. All right, okay, whatever, doing my thing. Hey, man, you saw was I going outside, boy? And I get beaten, but I ain't gonna lie.
I ain't denying that now.
Hey, come back inside, church, bro. Up in a puffin.
You gotta pull it together now.
Yeah, right? Because you ain't one of the cool kids see you crying, Dred. At that time, you smoke, you still want to hang, right? So you try to wipe your tears, right? You're still like.
Now you gotta lock in for the rest of the day. But I was just saying, but like the big punchline of that story was me saying, bro, I know what you mean when you say let's go outside, bro. Like you ain't gonna trick me, dog. Like, I know what that mean. I know what that mean.
But Ono was a little far, boy. Wait, Ono, wait, they play for me. Ono's like, you know where Ono is, bro?
Yeah.
Well,
bro, Ono almost in Philistine, bro.
But you can share that. You can share that real quick.
I got so much different screens open.
All right, it's all good. It's all good. So the Philistines was on the east. Was
exactly.
Was so like no, it's to the west of that.
It's on the western coast.
West coast. Yeah.
They play full bad, bro.
So for those wondering, if like even just to give you all a visual, if you all know anything geographically, but the area, if you think about the conflict with Palestine right now, the Philistine territory is a lot to do with the Gaza Strip right now. That west side, right? That's a lot of that used to be the Philistine territory. I can't tell you exactly, but just think about that region compared to where Israel is now and how it was there as well.
So Go for it.
They was trying to pull him. They was
Yeah,
trying to
but
pull him all the way up.
but they was literally like luring him away from the work of the city.
But they was
And that
luring him to their side of the town though, because that's not Jewish territory.
not at all.
Yeah.
Man, that's even more interesting. So in verse 3, so I sent messages to them saying, I am doing a great work, so
Mercy.
I cannot come down. Why should the work cease while I leave it and go down to you?
Mercy. That's a word, boy.
I am doing a great work. Man. Anyway, y'all go
Listen,
for it, Dominic.
I just hearing this, right? And I just thinking about I could imagine the response, right? Like I could imagine the Bahamian response. Like I putting this in Bahamian ears. You understand what I saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I could imagine the Nehemiah saying, "Me must drop everything I doing
I must go there to you.
and come to you." Look here.
You can't be serious.
Boy.
That made that whole interview with our former prime minister. And they was trying to talk to him about, I don't know if y'all familiar with that man, but they was trying to talk to him about
you talking.
like drug trafficking.
Yeah,
right?
boy. But
And this was
that woman together.
Yeah, this was an American person interviewing him saying, but like y'all need to really get that on the hand. He was like, hold on. Y'all country this big. You see what I'm saying? Y'all must but y'all can't stop it from coming in, but my little country gotta stop it. You can't be serious. He on like he on international television, bro. Like
I respect him.
That one was but that's exactly how I imagine. That's the type of person I imagine Nehemiah being. You understand what I said?
Mm-hmm.
Can't be serious, right? But here's my question, right? How much times like we know where God put us, but we let someone else take us away from where God wants us to be?
A lot of times, bro. And that's why I'm saying this a word, because I have found that the way the devil tries to distract me, I don't see it coming. Like it ain't until I already lost my temper, right? That I sit back and say, well, by George. He catch
by
me.
gosh, gee willikers.
Yeah, gee willikers. He catch me. And I sit there like, hell, mother, this was the devil playing with me. You see what I saying? The devil fooling with me, bro. You see what I saying? Like, and I talk about like in the last like 3 months, bro, couple times, bro, like something happened to me and it really like angered me. It really angered me, and I like, but I gotta take action. Right? And I consumed by this thing. And then I stop and say, wait, it's the devil, bro. It's the devil. And I ain't thinking, no, man, no. This is something I gotta nib in the bud, bro. You see what I saying? And then I get to confronting the issue, and I see how simple and how like it wouldn't have mattered if I confronted this or not. Like after I already talk about it, I realized like, bro, if I had let this go, the net result would have been the same, because this was not important to begin with, but it hit me. You see what I'm saying? Like it strike a nerve with me, I should say. Mm-hmm. I remember I was at church in Mars Hill SDA in Sanford, and I had a pastor say, he was quoting something from Ellen White, and he was saying how like a lot of our like feuds come about because we don't want to swallow pride, like we don't want to like lay down our flesh. And he even went on to say, quote from Ellen, that said like, bro, if we took the time and denied ourselves for 5 minutes, that could avoid the majority of our conflict. Like if something come to you and for the next 5 minutes you lock in and say, "Boy, this ain't about me. I don't care how I look. I don't care about being humiliated. I don't care how someone clown me and I ain't get back at them. But your problems, you would realize that this ain't even a problem." You see what I saying? Like for real, dog.
Boy, I tell you what, especially it's amazing how many times, right? Because you know how hindsight is 2020. Mm-hmm. There was this hey Earl, that same trip up to the mountains. Man, look here. When I tell you, right? This was just a Saturday afternoon. We going by a friend, just supposed to be a chill day. You know what I mean? We got a friend. He got some out in nature. Like Saturday nature, that they go hand in hand. So, but little did we know, we gone out in nature, and when I ain't even kidding when I say it was very easy for us not to have come back from that trip.
Boy.
It was only through the grace of God,
Well, I tell you,
really and
I
truly.
thought I was going dead. I literally remember being in
Listen,
the air and saying, "This is how it ends."
For those listening,
I
this we making light of the situation, but they actually serious about their lives being endangered that day though.
We got in an
like,
ATV accident in the mountains on a cliff. To
and I
paint the
want
picture.
Yeah.
just to put this into perspective, right? This was a fresh cut gravel road that was freshly cut into the side of a cliff, like straight down. You look down and you ain't see nothing. You understand what I'm saying? But it's only through the grace of God that we three ATVs and the road probably this big, and we get in this accident, and the waist is a couple of stitches. You know what I mean?
And some
Boy.
missing hair,
I
some
mean, like,
scars.
yeah, some scars, a concussion here or there. You know, I think
Mhm.
somebody lose a piece of ear or something like that. But
Yeah.
listen, when I say, but that I was being told that day, don't go nowhere, stay home.
Mm.
And me there being, I don't want to listen to that. I won't go out, man.
And misery
They
loving
riding
company.
ATVs.
Misery love company. And company sure went along. Oh yeah, I'll come.
Boy, oh
And
boy.
woke up. I woke up on the side of cliff, my arm hanging off. I say,
Boy,
Lord, thank
and
God.
you're all dusty, you're dead dusty
But
afterwards.
Listen,
dusty
when
bad,
I
roads getting infected.
Oh, man.
when I tell you, and I because of that, I probably had a literal infection. Like the hospital didn't give me no antibiotics after they give me stitches, and boy, it was bad. It was
Yeah,
bad.
that sounds very rough. Sounds
But
very
I
rough.
say all that to say,
God is good.
discernment. This, like, you need to, the discernment is one thing, but listening when people talk is a whole nother skill set that you need to have.
Bro, and I just want to say, if you are doing anything that threatens the devil, right? And you know what's interesting about that? You might not actively be doing anything that threatens the devil, but the skill set that God bless you with, or even the path that you will go on, might threaten the devil. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And so the devil sees it as, you know, Earl and Dom they ain't ministering. I don't know what y'all was doing back then, but they theoretically, hypothetically, y'all aren't ministering before God like how y'all doing right now at that time, right? So now, if I could stop them from even getting to the point where they decide they want to start ministering, that's less souls that will get saved. You understand what I'm saying? So he ain't gonna make it easy for you. When I tore my ACL, believe it or not, on my agenda that day, I woke up. I was talking to my cousin. I say, bro, I only have two things to do today. I have two sermons to write because I was preaching in a revival that week. Like 3 days before, 3 days after I tore my ACL, I was preaching a sermon, right? And I told him, bro, I have to write my two sermons and I got to go to the gym. And I said, you know what? I can go to the gym first because that has a timeline. I know I could say an hour, but when it comes to writing, I can't really put a time on it. I go into the gym. I was there 20 minutes, tear my ACL. And all I'm thinking now is, should I go and preach? You understand what I'm saying? Should I go and preach? Now, I went to preach because that was too obvious. I'm like, bro, if the devil was trying to stop me from doing a good work, you have
Mm-hmm.
to be a little more discreet than that, bro. I was on stage in crutches, hopping to the podium. You see what I saying to preach the word. You know what I mean? And so it's important to note though that if you are when you decide that you want to do things for God or even just live a godly lifestyle, you have to be aware and you have to be prayed up and fortify yourself because the enemy will try to attack you. The enemy will try to attack your mental state, might try to get you depressed, you know what I'm saying? Might try to get you angry, might try to get you in the flesh in any way he can. You see what I'm saying? But just like Nehemiah, we need, when we see these things happening, we need to say, I am doing a great work so that I cannot go to this depressive state. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
cannot go and fornicate. You know what I mean? I cannot go and fall and um fall for the trap of the enemy because he's trying to get me away from God, and I cannot do that. I am doing a great work by the grace of God,
That's a
So
fact.
yeah, I think
And
that's beautiful.
in verse 4, we see how persistent they were. In verse 4, we see, and Nehemiah said they sent him this message 4 times, and he answered them in the same manner. So multiple times they tried to say, hey, let's meet. Nehemiah said, doing a great work. Probably a couple of days later, again, think a couple of days later, they said it again. Let's meet. Nehemiah said, bro, you only need me to FaceTime. Again, let's meet. Come on now, guys. It's getting a little too persistent for me.
Bring it up.
They do it again. So now we see in verse 4. Then Sanballat sent his servant to me as before, the 5th time. So now he switched it up this time with an open letter in his hand, and it was written, it was reported among the nations. And Geshem says that you and the Jews plan to rebel. Therefore, according to these rumors, you are rebuilding the wall, that you may be their king. And you have also appointed prophets to proclaim concerning you at Jerusalem, saying, there is a king in Judah. Now these matters will be reported to the king. So come, therefore, and let us consult together.
So what I see is somebody planning to harm Nehemiah, but Nehemiah wasn't going for it, right? And there's a phrase that I've heard people say, and I used to hate it. The phrase goes, when the hate don't work, they start telling lies, right? I really just used to despise
Mercy.
that phrase, because I'm like, bro, what fairy tale world y'all in where people just hating on y'all and lying on y'all? Like, wait, some of y'all just be in your own world, bro. Y'all think y'all more important than y'all actually are. But that's because I had not experienced it. I wasn't as important as they was by my own logic or whatever, right? And so here we see biblically, they was trying to harm this man. It did not work. And as a result, they say, you know what? We can lie. You see what I'm saying? We just can lie. And we can spread this lie. And so that's what I think that was their objective. And it wasn't, I think that's their
I was going to
objective.
say, like,
that's what they did.
I guess it's literally what they did. I mean, just for the historical context, right? Everyone probably watched an ancient show or, medieval show, or even like, show for old times. Where when the king sent an official letter, what does he do? Sign it and put his seal in it. The reason why he put his seal in it, so when the person receiving the letter gets it, they know that no one else is seeing this message, and this message is coming straight to you by the official line of the king. You didn't have to be a king to have your seal. People seal the letters. That's why you have envelope sealed today. Why? Because the contents in this is only for the person who's supposed to receive it. When you send an open letter, what does an open letter means? It's not sealed. Anybody can read this. And now back in the day, it wasn't like, oh, just take this. You have people who probably going hand to hand to get Nehemiah, to get Nehemiah, to get to Nehemiah. Now, if this letter is open, they are reading it. What they doing? They looking and saying, oh, okay. This is what they're saying. Huh, interesting. And even though this letter is false, this letter is all falseness, the person reading that might not know. You know what I'm saying? They're saying, huh, people saying this. And the cause they point, who is people? When someone comes to you and say, oh yeah, bro, they saying, bro, who is they? Let's not be generally, who is they? You're trying to say Geshem saying this to bring some credibility to your claims, right? But who is they, bro? This ain't no they. You saying these things, bro, and you don't want to stand by your word. You saying these things. You trying to spread your false message throughout the whole nation, because now people can be saying, huh? Because here's the context of this too, right? Nehemiah was gaining more authority in Judah at the time too. So some of these claims, when you're reading them, the devil is operate with the best lie with 99% truth. So you as a lay person, you see this, you're saying, hold on now, what Nehemiah really doing? And here's the crux of this. If he really saying this really is plan, the king of Persia could be hard on us. So it's like a double-edged sword right now. You're really trying to sow discontent in the whole city, because if he really doing this ain't gonna be good for us.
That would imply that Nehemiah was going rogue. And
go for it.
And Nehemiah was already in a place of leadership. He was already a governor. It ain't nothing to just change your title from governor to king, because you already rule them. But as a governor, you are subordinate to the king of Persia. You see what I'm saying? And so it was a believable lie, especially because Nehemiah just come there calling shots. Nehemiah, when he first got there, he surveyed the land. He didn't even tell people what he was doing. He's like, just come with me. Couple of people, y'all come with me. All right, they going over here, going over there. Yeah, we're going to build this wall type situation. He didn't ask who in charge, none of that. He just come through and just get to work. And so if you pin on him, and then guess what? He was the one who fixed the hunger crisis. He was the one who gathered the nobles together and said, "But y'all pay all that back." And then he also made a statement saying, "Bro, y'all trying to eat off people, right? But guess what? As a governor, I should be eating off people, bro. That's the custom around here, but I don't eat off people, bro. I make sure I eat what everybody eat and I stay humble, right? So you establish yourself as an excellent leader. People love you because of what you've done, and you show yourself to be humble. Now, if someone turn around and say, this person, that was his campaign to be king, even the cause would say, if it was, it's compelling. It's a compelling campaign. You got my vote. I ain't gonna lie.
But was really crazy to me is, the fact that Nehemiah gone to the king directly, right? He asked the king for permission before he even come down and start this whole campaign, right?
Yep.
And to me, my first thought would have been like, bro, if you just go and ask the king yourself, you would know that this is a lie, right? But when you stop and think about it, and I think I read this in Ellen White, that if this did end up getting up to the king, this possibly, like how is not hard to believe, like you were saying, and even if it wasn't true, like the safer option would have just been to off Nehemiah and just be done with it. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Absolutely. The easiest option is to get rid of him. Because if he was a king, like the last thing a king wants is a war. So that's why people of power, if they could quell a rebellion on the early stages, they're doing it. Like I rather snub this out before it's become like a big raging flame. I like to dedicate more resources and more manpower to internal conflict. Remember, these kings was conquerors. Well, some was a little bit less conqueror than others, but I have my army dedicated to like advancing the civilization. I don't need to be sending an army down there to Jerusalem for no reason to like, oh, y'all want to be a rebel state now? No, let me just nip this in the bud right quick.
You can't.
But that's what makes this whole situation like a serious accusation and a real threat.
But that's how they go though. Every time they come in with these type of accusations, it always enough truth in it and enough speculation in it for to have you thinking, yeah, if we do go back into Jewish history, they did used to rebel. You know what I mean? They did used to carry on like this. You know what I mean? But the circumstantial evidence they provided. But at the end of the day, as a king, you can't take the chance. I mean, I know Nehemiah. I know he's a good dude. He wouldn't do that for me. But guess what? You never know. Someone might be barking him. Someone might be forcing him. He might have changed. You know what I mean? You never know. So I can't take that chance. So I believe that to be true. I believe if the king caught wind of that, he would have just had to, cancel Nehemiah, just to prevent that from happening.
And then and then in verse 8, Nehemiah said, "Then I sent to them saying, no such things as you say are being done, but you invent them in your own heart." Again, what's so interesting, right? And there's a couple of things. Y'all come with this accusation on y'all fifth tribe. This was truly the case. Why y'all didn't say this from the beginning?
Right.
Then why you sending an open message this time? And now it's like, why y'all trying so hard? Now you really just bold-faced lying. Now you might just think, no, I'm still not going to come there because you're only making no sense. This is even gonna be a further waste of my time because now I come here to defend myself against lies. And think about it, if I leave, at this point, I even look guilty of the charges as they are, as you're accusing me of them. There are people saying, "Oh, why Nehemiah leaving? Was this true?" So we see in verse 9 now, for they were all trying to make us afraid, saying their hands will be weakened in the work and they will not be done. Now, therefore, God, strengthen my hands. Nehemiah's prayer. Afterward, I came to the house of Shemaiah, the son of Delaiah, the son of Mehethabel. Oh man, these words always kick my butt. Who was a secret informer. And he said, "Let us meet together in the house of God within the temple, and let us close the doors of the temple, for they are coming to kill you. Indeed, at night they will come to kill you. Would
Now,
y'all trust a secret
I
informer? Go for it,
Uh,
Dominic. Ask the question.
even before questioning, whether or not this man is a secret informer, of all the places you want take me, why do you feel like it is the temple that is the safest place? You know what I mean? We could always go hide in the cave somewhere out in the fields. We could dig a hole in the ground and put, a little rock on top of us and say we chilling. Like there are so many options to hide if you feel like this is a valid fear, right? Why do you feel like the temple is where you need to go and lock yourself up in? That would have been the question that was in my mind. You know what I mean?
I think
I
the
just
temple had
know,
walls, right?
yeah, there are walls, and then you remember certain times people is going hold on to the altar because nobody could try to kill you right then and there. Like
Mm-hmm.
when David's son when David's son was scared to get killed by Solomon, he go on run and hold on to the horns of the altar, like, no, no, you know what I mean?
David
Like,
say, go get that man.
yeah. And so, that he might have seen that as a place of refuge. Like, he can come kill you. Yeah, who knows? But I'll tell you one thing, Nehemiah is biggity, bro.
That's
Nehemiah say, anyway, we can get to that. But he biggity, bro. I like his style, though. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like his style, bro. He ain't
you
scared.
see a little of yourself in me.
And he was a cupbearer, though. This was like a military man or nothing like that. You know what I mean? He just don't
Yeah.
back down. You know.
Yeah, let's get to that. We can finish talk. Verse 11, and I said, such a man as I flee, for who is there, and who is there such as I would go into the temple to save his life? I will not go in.
Straight up. Such a man as me flee, my
Me?
caliber, me run. You crazy?
Hey, you all remember box cut again?
Yeah, me.
Me?
That's a blast from the past.
Wow.
For real.
Wow.
But yeah, bro, like such a man as me, ta loca? You crazy? You gotta be crazy, bro. And I must run in the temple. What you take me for, bro? Chop liver? What you think this is, bro? Come
Bro.
on.
And it's so interesting. Right? We see the devil has used many tricks, and like the Kazi point, the devil has come at you in a way you might not even expect, right? Because it might seem like a noble thing. I go in the temple, bro. You know, one really coming behind me in the temple, right? But at the same time, too, Nehemiah knew, right? Because like if you read like the context, right, where he's really trying to go, he's trying to say, let's go hide in the holy place, because ain't no one gonna come there and find you, because ain't no one even can enter there. And Nehemiah was saying, buddy, I know I'm not a Levite, right? First of all, why am I running? I know God got me. Why am I running? Second of all, you ask me to do something to ruin my credibility now, because now the first thing these Israelites are gonna say is, you went into some place you wasn't even supposed to go because you were a Levite.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like remember what Balaam to say, like, hey, I can't curse, but you could get them to curse themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And now even God himself would take away all this great fortune he's bestowed upon me because I did something through fear and not trusting him that I know I'm not supposed to do. So Nehemiah is saying, bro, I'm not into this. No. And now, like, where's it in Matthew 7? I think that's where it is. Matthew 7, anyway, by their fruits you will know them. No, Jesus going to say, like, will a fig bring forth like this fruit or something else? But essentially, but by their fruits you will know them.
Mm-hmm.
And now this guy might have been a prophet or a priest, but now, buddy, what you asking me to do is directly contradictory to what God wants me to do.
Yep, Matthew 7:16-20.
Appreciate you, my guy. But so now it's like, why are you asking me to do such a ridiculous thing, bro? You started off so good. You're supposed to be someone who's on my side. Like afterwards, you see, like Nehemiah went here, like, all right, like I went here to like, just talking. You say, oh, okay, let's go do this. Well, what, like, and how you know? I mean, granted, everyone probably know these people have to kill me at this point, right? But like, what you ask me to do just almost like nonsensical. Like, bro, what you do ask me to do what now?
Don't make no sense, bro.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, that ain't me. That ain't me, bro. You see what I saying? Like I rather, you know what I mean? I rather face my fear, you know what I mean? Or y'all just gotta come, bro, because I'm running and hiding. And then in the temple, you see what
Of
I'm
all
saying?
places,
Like,
bro.
Like
I
of
used to
all the places,
Bro, I's the man who say, bro, we gotta work with a spare in one hand and a shovel in the next.
Oh,
So
yeah, we gotta duke it out.
what I doing running at this point, bro? I had to prepare everybody for war. I had these people literally working handicapped, bro. We could have finished this war even sooner.
That's true. Cause this
And the
like,
crazy thing is, go on, Kazi.
oh, go on.
No, because the crazy thing is, just like how you saying, imagine now you have all these people who supposed to be following you. They following your lead, and they risking their life, and they in on one half, like half the people building the wall, and the next half standing guard with a sword and a spear, and then how you supposed to look to them? You
Running.
know what I mean? Once you start saying, "Oh, I hiding because these people out to get me," you know what I mean?
No, that
Like
is
how you supposed to be a leader and you ain't on the front lines with your people?
yeah, but because if y'all see y'all already threatened to kill us from a long time. So they're saying like, I mean, it not
I knew
specific.
it was.
Yeah, they ain't news. I mean, they specifically saying they can kill him. Of course, he's public enemy #1 from time. So they're seeing news. But if I thought they was gonna kill me and I was ready to duke it out, you know, change, bro. But I do want to say though, it ain't no. I mean, everyone different. But when people come with threats to kill you, that's a nerve wracking. That's a fearful thing. You see what I'm saying? That's a prime time for you to make mistakes. When people are scared, they make mistakes.
Of
You
course,
know what I
bro.
mean? Like even
Mhm.
even in sports, right? You could have a team who undefeated, right? They undefeated all year. They face a team and that team whooping them. They start to make mistakes because they ain't been in this predicament before. We was undefeated. We was
Mhm.
riding high. But if someone beating us bad, now we can't get our composure. We ain't built these muscles because we never experienced this before. You see what I'm saying? And that's what fear does. And that's another thing with the devil. Anytime he can get you in the flesh, he get you fearful, you worrying. And when you worrying, you doubting God. You see what I'm saying? You thinking about other things. You thinking about just things that don't have nothing to do with God. You know what I mean? And that's when the devil could strike. But Nehemiah, I don't know if he biggity or he just like, I locked him with God. I know what God say to do. And it ain't this. So no.
I think Nehemiah was just confident in his purpose, man. It's like, yo, I know God sent me for a mission. We talk about Nehemiah, bro. Remember Nehemiah 1? This the man who belly break down because he has people was doing it back
For
in
months.
Jerusalem. You know what I'm saying? Like this man, he literally walked in this purpose. This is something he wanted to go back and do. This is something he prayed, fasted for, get the courage shocks, the king to come. We see God work on the king heart, bro. It's like, he know, bro, I am here for a purpose, bro. Yeah, the enemy rising up against me, but God has been protecting me throughout it all. So now, like, what you asking me to do, it going against what I know God put me here to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, he unquestionably know why he here and his purpose to be here right now.
And that also goes to, sometimes I don't know if it's if there's an underestimation, you know what I mean, of the enemy when they come to test you. Like they like, let me just see if he could fall this way, you know what I mean? But that's just a true testament to how to like I agree with her. I think he was locked in. He understood his mission. He understood his purpose, because you once you take a look at, from where he come from to where he is now, you can't look at that and be like, oh, any silly little lie, any silly little, like, plot and scheme just gonna come and undermine my whole entire mission, all of that I've been through up until now to get to this point.
Man, I'm gonna read something from Second Corinthians, right? 2 Corinthians 11:12. And this is Paul talking. And it's a little snippet, right? But he said, and I will keep on doing what I am doing in order to cut the ground out from those who want an opportunity to be considered equal with us in things they boast about. For these people are false prophets, deceitful workers, masquerading as apostles of Christ, and no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. It is not surprising that if his servants also masquerades as servants of righteousness, their end will be what their actions deserve. And we see here this guy coming against like these Like, bro, I'm really trying to do you a favor right now. I'm trying to do you good. I'm right here trying to give you a tip, right? But this tip really trying to lead to my destruction. This tip is really trying to lead Nehemiah down a wrong path, but it was disguised as something good. And that's how Satan operates, man. Hey, you want to eat this fruit? You ain't gonna die. You ain't gonna surely die. You know what I'm saying? Like, like just trying to like just masquerade it in something good. You want to know, like, you go until you couldn't eat that? Come on, man. Like, just give it into your weakness. But Nehemiah saying, bro, this this ain't for me, bro. Come on. This what you coming up with, bro? Come with something better. Try a little harder. Like, you making this easy for me. I know this ain't of God.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
And then in verse 12, then I perceived that God had not sent him at all, but that he pronounced his prophecy against me because Tobiah and Sanballat had hired him. For this was the reason he was hired, that I should be afraid and act that way and sin, so they might have a cause for the evil report. So they might have cause for an evil report, that they might reproach me. My God, remember Tobiah and Sanballat according to their works, and the prophetess Neodiah, and the rest of the prophets who would have made me afraid.
And so,
Prophet for hire again, boy.
boy. So, and that's the thing, right? I was talking to my boy about this yesterday too. You could be the victim, right? But if you as a victim react in the wrong way, all of the victim stuff could just be thrown out the window. And let me break that down a little bit. Nehemiah had a hit out on his head. They was trying to kill this man. He's a victim. He's minding his own business, doing the work of God, right? But if he had reacted out of fear, right, they would have used that against him and say, bro, this man is a sinner. He need to die. You see, it would have give them ammo to act the way they are. So you might have a situation where you arguing with someone, right? Me and Dom arguing, right? Let's say Dom is correct in this. I am wrong. Me and Dom arguing over something that I have wronged him. I have wronged Dom in a way. We arguing, right? If Dom trying to plead his cause as to why he is right, and Dom start cursing me out, telling me all type of this and that and the third, you just throw everything out the window now. You see what I'm saying? Nah, when I get in more mad with you, and now we end up scuffling, it's like, oh, to us wrong, bro. You was justified in picking an argument with me or calling me out. But now you kind of contributed to being wrong. You see what I'm saying? By the way you handle it. You know, like how they say, two wrongs don't make a right. Mm-hmm. It's important that no matter the situation we in, we might be it's like this, right? A lot of people say, you might ask someone why they did this thing, and they might say, I was stressed out. But in actuality, someone stressing you out, that don't give us a license to sin. Why you punch that dude? He was talking about me. You see what I'm saying? You were a victim. Somebody messed with you. But the way you reacted, it threw that out the window now. Because now you also have sinned. You see what I'm saying? Like, oh, why did you take this substance? I was stressed out, X, Y, Z. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, even when something is against us, it's important for us to be fortified and to do the right thing. Because that's how the devil gets you. The devil would use you, like he would make you a victim to get you to sin. Oh, I could talk, but Kazi, I could lie on Kazi name because I want Kazi freak out and curse out this person. You see what I'm saying? And then when Kazi do that, you know what people can say? Oh, Kazi is he's a foul mouth dude, or he's an angry dude type situation. You see what I'm saying? That's the type of games the devil play. And we see it right now. We see it right now. And if y'all don't know, I don't know. Some people might understand, but I felt like I got pulled in some drama, bro. Like my second day after surgery, I was accused of something that is false. You see what I'm saying? I was accused publicly on Facebook. You see what I'm saying? Someone's trying to call me out. But the fact of the matter is they was putting too much sauce. They was putting extra sauce on it. You know, when you sprinkle a little something, you stretch the fox of it. You see what I'm saying? And I think they stretched that a lot. Not that I think they did. They stretch it a lot, And I understand people act. Some people act like that for attention. Like they don't just come out and say I want attention, but it's like they want to attach themselves to something that you got going on, or they want to stop you, or they might have been inspired by something that was not of God to do that. But at the end of the day, you have to conduct yourself accordingly. No matter what someone pulling you in, you have to conduct yourself accordingly because the devil wants to use that to have a bad report for you. You see what I'm saying? Now, like give you all another example. If you might catch your pastor on the street, bro.
Mercy.
Somebody hit his car. He
Mercy.
mad, right? He ain't even know who watching him. He mad. Nah, this person threatened him. Your pastor turn around and slap them. You know what the people can say? Oh, look at the pastor slapping someone. You see what I say? But you could be a doctor. You could be a nurse, bro. Your patient calling you slurs and trying to hit you. If you hit that patient back, you're getting fired, bro. And they might sue. You see what I'm saying? Because it's like, to whom much is given, much is required, right? But at the end of the day, two wrongs don't make it right. I know how best to say it, but the devil tries to poke you to do something wrong, even when you're a victim, so he could use that against you. You see what I'm saying? And that's exactly what's happening with Nehemiah right now.
Exactly. Tom, you had something to say?
I think Kazi end that right there. But I was looking at the end of verse 14, and I was looking at, this prophetess Noadiah and the rest of the prophets who would have made me afraid. You know what I mean? And it ain't like he calling them out as false prophets. It ain't like he calling them out as these he calling them as prophets, and these prophets just had a specific agenda. You know what I mean? And the reason why I'm looking at that is because I think about how many people out here who have the title prophet, who have the title spiritual leader, pastor, who have the title a man or woman of God. You know what I mean? And they leading people down certain paths. But when you stop and think about it, what is there movements? Is there whatever they doing on a daily basis, whatever they preaching, whatever they selling? Is there agenda behind it? You know what I mean? Like when you see things like this, it makes you wonder who like when you pull it into today, like can we just trust people who say, oh, I as a prophet, or I as a bishop, I as an elder, I as a pastor, you know what I mean? Like how do we look at the people who have these roles in the church, in the community, and elsewhere, and discern who have good intentions for us and for people at large?
It's kind of like what Earl was saying in Matthew 7. You will know them by their fruits. So if Earl had not broken down that Nehemiah was not a Levite, a lot of us would have missed what impact that decision would have made. But all we see is this fellow telling him, yo, he's a secret messenger. He's like, let us go. The Shemaiah came to him and was like, yo, let's go into the temple and hide, right? That's all he say. Let's go into the temple and hide. But now, how did Nehemiah describe that, right? Nehemiah described that as saying that they was trying to get him to sin. For this reason, he was hired, that I should be afraid and act that way and sin. And so the only thing he said was going to the temple, but going into the temple would have been sinning. You understand what I'm saying? And so you will know them by their fruits. Is this prophet asking me to sin? Are you telling me that God is telling you to tell me to sin? That can't be right. And Nehemiah was like, it's so funny because before he even realized this was a scam, he just saying no because you asked me to sin. No, I'm not doing it. And then he perceived, oh wait, this person ain't even from God, bro. Because how you gonna ask me that? You see what I'm saying? And so it goes to the point of like what a lot of people who preach like end time prophecy stuff, a lot of them say, bro, like, thus saith the Lord. You got to know what is in the book. You see what I'm saying? Because there will come false messiahs. You know what I'm saying? You know, people use the term antichrist a lot, but there will come false teachers who come and say X, Y, Z. But if they speak not according to this word, they are a liar and no light is in them. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the things that we hold true in our faith is that the Ten Commandments is still binding. A lot of people, a lot of Christians, bro, a lot of a lot of Christians, they say the Ten Commandments ain't binding no more. Like it was nailed to the cross. Some people say once saved, always saved. Some people say, you know, all you got to do is love. Some people say, well, once you believe, you see what I'm saying? But Jesus says, until heaven and earth pass, not one jot or tittle will be removed from this. And as far as I know, earth ain't pass, right? And even if earth pass, I know heaven ain't pass. You know what I'm saying? And so the Ten Commandments are there. So it's like certain things that people speak, these prophets, prophetess, whatever, once they tell you something that is like in contradiction to the word, that should lift up our antennas. And the only way for us to be affluent or fluent in that is to actually know the word. You know what I'm saying?
And I think to even add on to that or carry it a little bit further, I had a conversation. I've had conversations with people, and about Christianity, and I've been told that Christianity and is an indoctrination. You know what I mean? Like they indoctrinate people in Christianity. Kind of broad stroke kind of categorizations, and I I feel like if you were to answer to a statement like that, I feel like these are the types of things why people out there um believe in that. You know what I mean? Like believe that there's indoctrinations, because you have people who like, going back to what I was saying, an agenda. They trying to serve a specific purpose that may not necessarily be in line with the Bible. And when I heard that, I even just went back to look up the word indoctrination just to understand the full context and the full meaning behind the word. And the context of indoctrination is believing something without questioning it, teaching somebody to believe something without questioning it. You
Okay.
know what I mean? And in my when I was kind of trying to formulate, how do I feel about this, like, as me as a Christian, like how would I respond to a statement like that? I'm like, you know the Christianity that I know, the Christianity that I believe in, the Christianity that I understand is not something about indoctrination, because Christianity to me is fully something where I can go to God, and I could questions, and I can test this. And we have this saying that we study line upon line and precept upon precept. You know what I mean? There's nothing that we should be accepting just for the sake of accepting it.
Yep.
You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yep.
And so, yeah, no, I just want, I just to tie it back into to the origin of this text. I'm like, the fact that Nehemiah didn't take on what this man say to go, and he just didn't take it on just because this man say it. He knew what his purpose was. He knew what God's plan was for him, because he had that relationship with God. And we today can know when we are being lied to, when we are being misled, and when we are being deceived, just through having that relationship with God.
Amen.
Yeah, let me say one thing on that too, right? It's like I had the same question, like, yo, how do we test these prophets? And to Dom's point, like we in Christianity, there ain't no gatekeepers. God is a God who actually wants us to question him. Well, and that's how we get to learn more about him. And in First Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 20 and 21, it says, do not despise prophecies. Do not despise them. And which is interesting. He said, don't despise them. Test all things. Do not despise the prophecies, but test all things. Hold fast what is good and abstain from every form of evil.
Mm.
So right there in the Bible itself, it's saying, guess what? You will hear prophecies. And we're gonna ask ourselves, because this is something me and Kazi's talk about a lot too, probably off pod more so, but like, how do you know, like, with these prophetic people saying if it's true or not? Like, if someone cast a prophecy over you, it might be good and all, right? But it's like, bro, like, how do you know if it's true or not? But the Bible says, guess what? Test all things. Don't despise them. Because like even me, we have a bunch of people call themselves prophet back home, bro. And I ain't gonna lie. Even myself, bro, I just get, it's like, bro, what y'all talking about right now? We all just running on. I just like honestly starting to close my heart off to it, right? I read it, and I was like, oh, God say don't despise them. I say, all right, God, what you trying to tell me now? I gotta listen. I gotta listen to this foolishness now. God forgive me, right? But God say, don't despise it. But test it. Does it line up with what's in the word of God? There's a lot of what I am saying. By their fruits you will know them. And hold on to what's good. But guess what? Any form of evil in this prophecy, what this person is saying, abstain from it. And then we see, if you go to Acts 17 in the early church, when Paul and Silas was going to Berea, they was eager to hear what Paul and Silas was saying. But you know what they did? They test everything they said with the scripture. People got to realize this Old Testament was around for a long time. So these people had access to the scriptures back then. And they say, okay, what y'all saying, like right here in verse 11, now the Berean Jews were more noble in character than those in Thessalonica. Ouch. For they received message with great eagerness, and they examined the scriptures every day to see if what Paul said was true. And as a result, many of them believed, and also the number of prominent Greek men and women and Greek men and women believed as well, right? But he said they test every day what Paul was saying. They didn't just take it blindly. They didn't take it without question. Christianity was never meant to be an indoctrination. No, test what these people are saying. If it's true, test it. And by their fruits, you will know them. God doesn't here trying to gatekeep Christianity and just make you force feed it. He gave you free will for a reason. He wants you to willingly come and serve him. He wants you to willingly come and seek after him, to willingly learn his word. So yeah, man. But yeah, trust me, these prophecies, bro, sometimes they just cringe my skin, boy. They just be like, ooh, oh.
I think I mean the majority of things where we disagree with other Christians, but it really could be solved if people read the Bible and read the Old Testament and the New Testament. You see what I'm saying? Like see the correlations between the two. Because we see even in the Old Testament, I was sharing Jeremiah 14:14 before we came on the pod, bro. This was an example of a clear false prophecies from people of God. Like, and God had to tell Jeremiah, I tell these people that. They make that up. You see what I'm saying? They make that up, and that's how some people go, bro. Like, and it says these things were deceits of their heart. Sometimes people in their heart, they want that to be true, bro. They want it to be true, bro. Like in their heart, they convinced, bro, you can come out on top. You can get that new job. No, they might not. That might not be what God wants for them. You see what I'm saying? Like, that might not have been what they deserve, bro. They might have been the type to fumble their blessings, and God ain't into that. You see what I'm saying? Or God might want them to change career. But like the problem we have with these, like the people in our day and time with prophecy, ain't nobody's keep score. You see what I'm saying? Ain't nobody's turn around and say, well, hold on, though, you did say X, Y, Z, but true, they ain't come true. And then a lot of times they prophesy and it be so vague, they ain't saying God blessing you with a
some of the
job.
prophecies is be like the horoscopes, bro. So general, it gotta be almost true. And
for sure. Like they ain't putting no stipulation on it. They ain't saying you can find a lover if you X, Y, Z. Or they ain't saying, but the reason why you've been failing at this is because you need to improve on da, 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 da. And God says if you be faithful in this, then he could be faithful. No, they ain't saying none of that. The Lord says that, I'm like, and let me tell you the thing that trips me out about that. We see texts in the Bible where Jesus literally say, you see what I'm saying? There could be wars and rumors of wars, thing like that. Jesus say, study the prophet Daniel, right? We go to Daniel. Them talking about all of these beasts and this and that. Then we get to Revelation, and Revelation saying this beast can carry on like this and this one, and the dragon can rage war with those who keep the commandments, right? I like, all right. The last prophecy we have in the Bible, it was intense, right? But nah, 2,000 years later, you telling me I can get a new car? Well, you all need to stop freaking out, bro. I would think that if 2,000 years ago, God tell me, boy, but I ain't glad they can start killing people, but just off the strength that you don't take the mark of the beast, but they killing you, bro. I would think that as we get closer to that, these prophets would be saying, all right, this what this would mean, like, let's break down this, or you come in to add on to this. They doing that via this. This the system how we can get to do that. You see what I'm saying? And so I'm like, bro, if it's prophecy, boy, like, and you only telling me I have a good day and thing, I mean, it hard for me to just, accept that as being incredible. That's my opinion.
God could bless you with $2,000 if you only give me 200. But anyway,
Real dog.
That's only 10%.
but listen.
But I gotta get a 200 up front. You see what I said?
But it's that 2,000 was prophesied to you though.
Yeah, true.
Mercy.
But look here, the strength that we, I ain't even sure if strength is the right word, but the amount of influence that our own belief could have on us. Boy, I remember, for those of y'all who don't know, me and Earl used to work together at the same place many years ago, right? And I just remember being at this place, and I remember I was like, I was convinced in my own self. I was like, man, this is the most amazing place. This is Disney. I essentially work working at Disney, and I ain't got no place to go. I ain't no place for me to be. You know what I mean? I say my boy there. We got our next friend there. It is close to. I could hop in my car and be there in 15 minutes. Man, look here. Where I going? Where am I going? You know what I mean? This is me talking to myself. Knowing full well within myself that there's things out there. I know more things out there, but to me, I say ain't nothing more out there for me. You know what I mean? And in the same vein, we could convince ourselves of basically anything. You know what I mean? It's just amazing of the things that we could convince ourselves, and so I could see, like I feel it when you always talking about like these people were deceived in their hearts in Jeremiah. You know what I mean? Like they convinced themselves, and I'm like, that ain't a hard thing to do.
No.
Like it is very easy to convince yourself when you have your own, like you see something for yourself, or you see life in a certain way, and without anything to change your mind, change your conviction changes you. You understand what I'm saying? I just say it's crazy.
I just was laughing. Like out earlier this week, we was talking in the chat, right? And we were saying, man, we've all been there many times when we were just like, you know what? We made a stupid purchase and we just justified it to ourselves like we know we need it. Or you know what?
We know
no matter what, we are comfortable with the consequences of our actions. Whatever ramifications come from this, we okay with it.
Me and Lindell say, hey, that's a tomorrow dawn problem. We'll let tomorrow dawn deal with that. That's tomorrow Lindell issue.
Oh my, but we got 5 more verses. Let's go. We could like land this plane how we so desired. So we see in verse 15 now. So the wall was finished in the 25th day of Elul in 52 days. I could keep on going. And it happened when all our enemies heard of it, and all the nations around us saw these things, that they were very disheartened in their own eyes, for they perceived that the work was done by our God. Also in those days, the nobles of Judah sent many letters to Tobiah, and the letters of Tobiah came to them. For many in Judah were pledged to him because he was the son-in-law of Shechaniah, the son of Ara, and his son Jehohanan had married the daughter of Methuselah, the son of Berechiah. Also, they reported his good deeds before me and reported my words to him. Tobiah sent letters to frighten me. So even in them 5 verses is a lot
Right.
to unpack. Right?
Because y'all remember my first question to y'all was why y'all think these people so mad?
Hmm.
And then when you come back and you read all this, just the, even if you don't understand the real simple breakdown is these two guys, Tobiah and what the other one name? The one with the funny name? The two of these guys, Sanballat.
Sanballat.
These guys are intertwined in the with these Jews, these quote unquote outsiders, these I think Sanballat is like a Samaritan actually, or he lived in Samaria or something like that. And Geshem is Arabian, and basically all these
Arab.
people they ain't Jews, but they intermarried with all these Jewish people, which at the time was very much against Jewish laws and traditions.
Mm.
God tell these people, you ain't supposed from going back into Egypt and these times, they were supposed to be kept separate and not intermarrying with other people. And so now I'm looking at this and I'm like, you can see the fruits of why God tell them not to do certain things. You know what I mean? You look at this and you say, and I looking at this and I saying, this they have a certain level of control over these people by that they inflicted on them by intermarrying with these people, and I could see them feeling like they losing that control, like y'all was saying earlier. But it's like I could see where that control came from because of this intermarriage. You know what I mean?
So I'm gonna read something from Prophets and Kings real quick, right? It's a quick excerpt. Here are seeing the evil results of intermarriage with idolaters. A family in Judah had become so connected with the enemies of God, and the relation had proved a snare. Many others had done the same. They were not wholehearted in his service, and when God's work demanded a sacrifice, they were ready to violate their solemn oath of operation and support. Some had been foremost in plotting the mischief against the Jews, now professed a desire to be on friendly terms with them. The nobles of Judah who became entangled in idolatrous marriages, and who had been so traitorous correspondence with Tobiah, had taken an oath to serve him, now represented him as a man of ability and foresight, an alliance with whom would be greatly to the advantage of the Jews. At the same time, they betrayed him to Nehemiah's plans and movements. Thus, the work of God's people were laid in the open to the attacks of their enemies. An opportunity was given to misconstrue Nehemiah's words and acts and hinder his work.
Mm.
So the Kasi's point at the beginning, and even to Dom's point just now, we see these intermarriages had a profound impact on what was currently happening. They were like directly opposing, almost through backdoor means, even the work of God. And it's interesting, right? One, it takes 52 days to build this wall. Me in my mind was thinking this going to take like a month's process, but we see how back 2 chapters ago, these people were really working. All hands were really on deck. We see how families was going, the stonemasons to the perfumers to the people, the merchants, everyone was all hands on deck building this wall, taking them 52 days to build a wall around the city. Hey, again, we say, but y'all gotta get the stone y'all self. Y'all gotta make the cement y'all self. Y'all gotta carry it to where it gotta go, and y'all gotta stock it up. And bro, so like this was like 12-hour days plus, bro. But y'all did it, and we see the effect of it at the end. Their enemies ain't even said this what y'all do. This what y'all God do, and they were disheartened. And so we see how like all of this Tobiah, Sanballat, whoever else, the next person, Gashem or whatever his name is at this point in time, right? But y'all was directly going against the work of God, bro. Like directly going against the work of God. And so just imagine at any point in time, Nehemiah truly like lost his way, bro.
Mm-hmm.
At any
Definitely for
point in
sure.
time. This the glory to God would have not been exalted, bro. The wall wouldn't have been finished again. You know what I'm saying? Satan would have triumphed again. And it's just interesting. The nations of the surrounding nations, they all got disheartened because they say this what they God could do. And think about it, in a short amount of time. That's even more mind blowing. You know what is too quite literally the beginning of last month, y'all didn't have a wall, bro.
Yeah,
Y'all did not have a wall last month. Now y'all have a fully fortified city. Y'all was easy pickings last month. Now, boy, we can't touch y'all no more. Y'all saying something again, and we know how powerful y'all God is. We it's so crazy, right? Like the ancient world truly respected the Israelite God more than they respected it, which was so mind blowing to me. Like these nations, how hold your God in a higher regard than you hold your own God. It's just completely mind blowing. But I can't even say it's not mind blowing because we do the same thing today. But man, it's just interesting. I know someone else won't get it, so I'm a hush.
No, I was just thinking like it's crazy that this thing is I look at this and I feel like this just is kind of history repeating itself, right? Because I thinking about all these people intermarrying with everybody, and then the people working almost against their own best interests. You know what I mean? Like, and so if you like going back to the whole Moses thing, like these people was it's almost like they working against Moses, trying to lead them out of Israel. These guys working against Nehemiah too, who trying to bring Israel, like, and it ain't even like he trying to build Israel up in any kind of like, we making Israel great again. It's like he had a purpose and he had a mission, and he just come to fulfill it. That was God driven. But yeah, I just say this I feel like it's easy to see, like if you tell me that the Israelites did that, I'm like, yeah, that's normal.
I was laughing because you say make Israel great again, but it does remind me of
Yeah.
it does remind me of Moses
There was
because
there was a there was a wall comment in there somewhere too, but I wasn't the one that.
wow, that's you pretty good, bro. You're pretty good. But I was laughing too though because like for the Moses analogy, right? We see what Moses had to go through, right? And from the human standpoint, we see how Moses felt. Now, every one of us know that with that amount of pressure, it's very likely for someone to react. You know what I'm saying? For their anger to get the best of them. But we could see that even though his anger get the best of them, and even though we could say that's human nature, that God still saw it for what it was. You know, it was sin. The way you reacted, it took away the power from me. You disobeyed me. You see what I'm saying? You let your anger get the best of you, and it's different because I used to speak to you. I used to speak to you one on one. You see my essence, my presence. You see what I'm saying? You understand. You saw the plagues. You saw me at the burning bush. Like you understand how divine I am, and you understand how when you put that into perspective, these problems are menial. But Moses fell, and so now we see Nehemiah who had a task, and in the midst of his task, bro, it's like he have to deal with his people and others. And the reason why the others having such a opinion is because they intermingle, intermarry with his people. So this one issue that is just not escaping us, but like we just can't get past this. It's our people taxing our people. It's our people marrying others, and them and the others who y'all marrying want to have a say for us. I here to do good work, and these people just spreading lies, and y'all coming to me with it, bro. They have a direct line to me through y'all. Y'all talking to these traders every day, and they coming to me and saying this, bro. And now y'all paying off profits and telling me to do whatever. We only hear about one profit that they pay off. But Nehemiah mentioned a few profits, even a prophetess, you know. And so, bro, it's just so important. Like, and this is a point that I ranted on earlier though. Like, it's so important to be righteous, bro. I heard a phrase that say it's better to be righteous than to be right. Nehemiah was right if he was scared. You would be, but like, I think fearing for your life is a normal thing. You see what I'm saying? Especially when you have death threats. You see what I'm saying? Like, you could still have faith that God ain't gonna allow that to happen, but this is danger that's happening. Now, Nehemiah did not only didn't he didn't show fear, but he didn't act on the fear. And he knew that if he had acted on that fear, he would have sinned. You see what I'm saying? And so even though you justified in being a victim, even though you justified in doing all of this, you still have to be, we are still called to be righteous. And sometimes, like in our world, that is a very tall task to do. It's a very tall task to be um to be someone that's been hurt, you know what I'm saying? Somebody that's being attacked, someone that's being vilified. And it's also even taller task to be the bigger person and to be righteous throughout it all.